Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So I saw I was low on Izanagi videos, so we'll do another one here. And then in putting together my team, I decided to do like mostly newer characters, characters that we've gotten more recently. And then when I was at the end of it, I realized that this was technically a free party. 3 drop monsters and then a hatcher monster from the friends list, in theory. Not the easiest free party to put together though. 2 of them are limited time, and 1 is a colossal monster. Yeah, take it for what it is. Alrighty, so this first stage there are 3 pairs of enemies. We can pinch in between them with bounce monsters. And then if we had a monster with no null warp, we could jump in the warp and then hopefully pinch appear in between the 2 guys and then pinch them. But I don't need to worry about that with this team so much. To talk about the team that I'm using, first I'm using Kubode. She was a limited time monster with an EX stage. She's a bounce with a null warp, and that's kind of the main gimmick for this mission. There are also damage walls, but they don't do a whole ton of damage. And then she also has a Recovery S and a Command Strike Shot, and a strong bump combo. So pretty good all around. And then here is the second stage of the mission. And the place that I like to be is around the outside of the field, because most of the damage happens in the center of the field where the monsters move around and attack. So my positioning is pretty good here. Second character I'm using is Rip'n Reaper Jack from the Halloween event. He is Pierce with no warp. He also has Recovery S, so that'll be good to keep my HP up. And then he has a Null Everything Strike Shot, which can work well as like a finisher. It does pretty decent damage. And then it can also help him ignore the damage walls. Next up I'm using the new Transcendent form of Valkyrie, and she covers both the gimmicks with Null Damage Wall and Null Warp. And she's got strong bump combos and a strong strike shot, but they're a little difficult to use, so I don't think I'm going to get too much good use out of them this run. And then finally I'm using the Colossal monster, Avalon. And she also has both of the null gimmicks, null damage wall, null warp, and she is a pierce. And then she has a strike shot reducer, so when I can, I would like to hit all of my teammates so that I can lower her strike shot count. Okay, so there go the little guy stages, and now we're going to enter the boss rush. And this first one for Izanami, I feel it's pretty tough. It's very high damage output. And then I usually don't worry about any of the little guys, and I just go straight for the boss. So we'll get a couple of shots in here of the tag laser. It does do less damage because it's the wrong element against Izanami, but still does pretty good damage, so it's worth using. Yikes, yeah, there's that big damage I was talking about. Alright, here we'll just do a direct attack with Avalon to go through the boss's weak point. And then there I was checking like how many attacks were coming up next, and I saw quite a few, so I went and grabbed the heart. Thankfully, Rip'n Reaper had the shield up, so we took less damage for that. And then here I thought I could bounce off the bottom of the red dragon, get under Izanami, and then set off some bump combos, but right before I got to my teammates there was an irregular bound, so oh well. Okay, with a Rip'n Reaper we'll set off bump combos and then grab the heart. Alright, pretty good. Eee, more big damage. Alrighty, and then with Valkyrie we should be able to beat the stage, and then hopefully also grab that heart. Alright, excellent. Okay, and then after we beat the mini-boss, all of the remaining little guys will run away, so that's kind of a nice thing there. So here we are in the Kushinada part of the boss rush, and then she's pretty much agreed to be the easiest of the boss rushes. So we can kind of, you know, focus our attention on positioning to stay out of that cross laser. But beyond that, this is kind of a rest stage. If we had some hearts, we could maybe take some time and build them up if we needed to. I'm not seeing the need for that though, especially with two guys with Recovery S. And yeah, Rip and Reaper Jack's bump combo, it's that Horizon Laser. And there are not a lot of characters with Horizon Laser, so probably most of us are not very used to positioning for that. But it's actually pretty easy with him, since he is a Pierce and since he has Null Warp. Should be pretty easy to get him in the correct position. Okay, so there goes Kushinada, and then next will be Yamato Takeru. And most people feel that he is the most difficult of the boss rush. And to use strike shots here is perfectly fine, since he is that difficult. And yeah, Kyubure does have the command strike shot, but the multiplier is pretty low for both speed and attack for herself and her teammates. I wouldn't say it's a bad strike shot, but it shouldn't be counted on too much. And then here too, I think I'm going to use Rip and Reaper Jack's strike shot, both to do some additional damage and also to not take damage from the damage walls. Okay, we'll just keep on chugging away. The hard thing about this stage is that there are so many enemies around, and then all of their attacks kind of, you know, added together will do a lot of damage to us. Some people go after the little guys first, some people go after the boss first. I like to get rid of the boss as quick as possible, and then use strike shots when I can. And then here I'm going to go ahead and use Avalon Strike Shot. It does take away our hit points, but I knew that the next couple stages I would have a chance to get that HP back, so I was perfectly okay with using the HP there. Okay, so here is the last stage before Izanagi, and yeah, we want to take down this, this turtle the first turn. Because otherwise he'll do a very high damage attack against us. And since we can beat him without taking any damage, we can get a lot of our hit points back. So that was fine timing for Avalon Strike Shot. Okay, here is the kind of the mini-boss version of Izanagi. And then he'll stay in the middle, and then his two buddies here will move around him. And here I like to get rid of the buddies first. There's no penalty for getting rid of the two guys, so we'll get rid of them. And then, beginning the final stage, the next stage, we want our guys in the lower half of the screen. So I'll keep that in mind as I do damage to everybody. Alright, some nice tag laser there, and positioning here is pretty good, so we'll try to maintain this. Alright, we'll go after the two buddies here. Okay, pretty good. So with the two little guys gone, we can focus our attacks on Izanagi. And then here we can actually sort of take our time. I don't believe this Izanagi has an ultimate attack, so we can really focus on our positioning and then getting our HP up if we need it. And then, yeah, we did use most of our guys as strike shots earlier in the mission, but we can see that they're well on their way to getting charged up again, and we should be able to use them again on the final stage. Okay, pretty good. I'm playing this very conservatively, trying to work on my positioning. If you had more powerful characters, it could be a good idea to go kind of all out with, you know, bump combos and all that, to get through that stage more quickly. Okay, so here is the last stage, and then the first turn, Izanagi is going to do a big attack on the top half of the screen. So we have one turn here in order to sort of, you know, fine-tune our positioning. And then here I was able to do that, so I didn't take any damage from that big white blast there. And then in this boss stage, the little guys, they'll move around as normal, but the boss will move around as well. And then when Izanagi is along the left or the right wall, there will be chances to pinch in between the wall and him. So that can be a good technique to have. And then here, if we take down both of the buddies, then Izanagi will get angry. And then after a turn, will do a gigantic attack and take us out. So we want to leave one of the guys alive as we do damage to the boss. Alright, so I see Izanagi on the right side of the screen. I'm going to try to pinch in there with Kyubure, and then for additional damage I'm going to use the command strike shot. Okay, so I didn't get the pinch with Kyubure the first bound, but I got it on the third, I believe it was. Unfortunately, we took out the little guy, so now Izanagi is angry. So I have one last turn to take down the boss. Before he takes me out with his ultimate attack. So I just got everybody's bump combo out with Rip and Reaper Jack, and we were able to do it just in the nick of time. Alrighty, so that was Izanagi. I was very glad to get that video since I don't play this mission very often. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Take care.